Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
The Bible foretells a false reformation to take place before the second coming of Christ. It is written in Ezekiel chapter 13 verses 10 to 11, even because they have seduced my people, saying peace, and there was no peace. And one built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar. Say unto them which daub it with untempered mortar, that it shall fall. There shall be an overflowing shower, and ye, O great hailstones, shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rend it. The message of the false reformation is one of peace and safety. One is said to build up a wall, and others daub it with untempered mortar. But what is this wall that God will furiously destroy? Isaiah chapter 30 verse 13 says, Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. Iniquity, which is lawlessness and sin, is a breach in a high wall. Sin is the transgression of God's law. This means iniquity is a breach in God's law. The wall is His law. The Bible prophesies that during the times of perverse wickedness, during a time of many calamities, a false wall will be built up to protect the people supposedly from the judgments of God. The wall will be built up with untempered or improper or inconsistent mortar, and it will be destroyed along with the ones who built it up. However, the Bible also prophesies of true repairers of the breach of iniquity. Isaiah chapter 58 verse 12, And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. What will be the overwhelming difference between those who falsely uplift God's law versus those who truly uplift it? Isaiah answers very clearly in the following verses. Verses 13 and 14. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. Those who teach obedience to God's seventh-day Sabbath, which is from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, are said to be the true repairers of the breach. They, like Jesus, will be able to say, "It is written," for every single commandment that they teach. But those who try to falsely substitute Sunday for the biblical Sabbath will be partakers of the false satanic reformation. Sunday is not the Christian Sabbath. Whosoever is willing to teach disobedience to even just one of God's 10 commandments is doing the work of evil, and they are further perpetuating the rebellion against God's law that Satan started in heaven. Those souls must repent, or else they will be destroyed. Furthermore, God hates the Sunday Sabbath. The very worst abomination to God in the book of Ezekiel is when his people turn their backs toward him and instead worship the sun.
Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worshipped the sun toward the east. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore will I also deal in fury. Mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them. There shall none of my words be prolonged any more. There shall none of my words be prolonged any more. but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord God.